question is very intelligent, innovative, captivating, meaningful, and getting some results, you get a free ticket to fly to Dubai. Let's work it out. And it's not coming from me, it's coming from Pranda. Where are you? Pranda Sati, I'm making a commitment on your behalf.
In Northeast for last 10-15 years, and I love this particular region of India. I am very disappointed when I see that government is not doing enough on tourism, which can bridge the gap between rest of India and Northeast. Why this is happening, sir? There is a wide variety of floras and faunas. So much of tourist attractions are there. So much of beautiful places, national parks, hill stations. But why we are unable to pull international tourists as well as domestic tourists to that extent in Northeast, which can actually bridge the gap between Northeast and rest of India?
We completely understand that. All of us are witness to that, and that is what ma'am also mentioned in her opening remarks about that there is immense potential in this part of the country, in this region, but that has not been realized, and there are constraints. So there are the infrastructural constraints, the skilling, the capacity, and a lot of these are going to be discussed tomorrow in the post-lunch session, and I'm sure we'll be able to come out with concrete steps in the direction that is required and take it forward from there. And we would welcome your inputs on that as well. Thank you so much.
Dedicated policies on different aspects of tourism services. And then second issue is the lack of standardization on different aspects of tourism services. So one kind of hotel, for example, like 5-star hotel in one city is providing different kind of services than a 5-star hotel in some other cities. So there should be some kind of standardization which is lacking, particularly some of the part of the Northeast India as well as some other part of the India. So these two also contributing to not inviting so much tourists from the domestic as well as from the international market.
But we find so much of courses on nursing and other crash courses. So that also, it's my request from my part that we should take care of this.
You see, the quality part is very, very important. Then there will be no takers. There will be just degree holders. That's all. About tourism, I think the Malaysia is a little deeper than what we see. You know, among the tourists, you really have to build confidence. That is very, very critical. And when I was talking about a particular image of the Northeast, a construction which has already been done, which has done so much of damage to the Northeast, I think confidence building is very, very vital. I'll give you one, how they have not been able to build confidence. I'll give you one example. The government of India decided to extend LTC facilities by flight to anyone going to the Northeast, regardless of grades. And we all expected that time, I think Manisankarji was the Commerce Minister and the Northeast Minister. We all expected it would really now transform the tourism sector in the Northeast. But you'll be surprised, all the tourists will come up to Bagdora, right? In the name of Northeast, because the brother is there. A safe brother is there. So they will go only to the brothers, forgetting seven sisters. Why? You get my point? So all the LTCs were limited to a single brother and seven sisters were ignored. Because somehow there was a lack in the level of confidence among the tourists. And that is where you have to really play as an institution or as a company.
Comes together along with the other stakeholders, assess the demand for those courses, and then identify the standards, the job roles, and the courses, and then these get operationalized. So there is a much of thought which has gone into this entire value chain of skilling, and from skilling to employment. So that is the thing. And however, may I know your name, please?
My name is Joyjit Sinha. I am working for SMI.
Okay, Mr. Joyjit Sinha. However, the way you've been asking questions, I think very soon you will be a tourist to Dubai because of the incentive which has been announced.
Man, he'll not only be a tourist, he's from tourism industry, he's a travel agent, tour operator, he'll give the ticket for Dubai.
But in most countries, including in developing countries like India, you hardly have services provided exclusively by government alone. For instance, sewerage services or environmental services or sanitation services are normally done on a people mode, where the service provider gets its fees from government. There are also situations like in the education sector where you have government providing for legal courses or engineering courses which are on a subsidized basis. So how are these services, what is the status of such services provided by government under the GATS, and what are India's obligations?
So these are coming under the purview of the GATS. That means this is one of the services sector that are being covered under the obligations of the GATS. Now, but having said that coming under the purview GATS, that does not mean that it's automatically becoming binding or it is automatically there are some kind of commitment. It depends upon in that particular sector what is the commitment that is taken by a particular country. For example, like you talk about the sewage treatment services. So in that service, India has not taken any commitment. So in that case, even if there are government service provider and there is a private service provider, the government is no way obliged to do anything or to give some concessions or some kind of liberty to some of the foreign service providers.
I will just add on this. See, I just wanted to clarify it, since it came from the Commerce Department itself. For these services, as on today, there is no binding commitment. But under FTA now, we are negotiating. So depending upon where the service provider has the capacity and what we can leverage in lieu of these services, we are negotiating now.
I have 2 points. So somebody asked about what are the handicaps in the way of development of tourism. Not letting out a government secret. But at times I feel that we inflict injuries on ourselves. And most of the regulations are self-inflicted. I'll just give you an example. 1990, the first ever Orchid Festival was organized at Sikkim. So Mr. Arun Nehru was the tourism minister, I was DG tourism. So I requested him to inaugurate. When he mentioned it to the Prime Minister, BP Singh was the Prime Minister then. Prime Minister said, no, I would like to inaugurate it. I said, fine. Meanwhile, we got feedback from Sikkim. There was a lot of resentment about the inner line. So I brought it to the notice of a minister. I said, look, you will be shown black flag if you go like this. Within 24 hours, that order was withdrawn. That shows how irrational that order was. You mentioned about the need for nurses in Japan. And not only in Japan, America is deficit to the tune of 1 million nurses. Europe, another 1 million, all over Europe. Australia also has a deficit. And Japan, particularly with the aging population, shrinking population, and they only look for India. But the biggest handicap is lack of accreditation or affiliation. Can you organize accreditation from an American, from a Japanese university for training of nurses here? There will be no dearth of investment, I can tell you. Because in America, a trained nurse today gets, what's her wage? $100 an hour. And on weekend, she gets double that.
Nursing side also, if we do not take steps straight away, we will be missing out on the opportunity, because Japan is member of TPP. And TPP is the only agreement where on MRA, there is an understanding among all the participating countries, 12 countries, that the recognition of one member's degree acquired in the home country will be recognized by another country. Now, which means that the Vietnam will also take huge opportunity in supplying nurses to Japan. Japan today has installed, their capacity is 50,000 per annum. This is their national capacity in Japan. They have a pass out of about 90%, about 45,000 nurses pass out. And the gap, this 5,000 plus additional requirement on the shortages are being met today from two main countries, Philippines and Thailand. Recognition in Japan is a very difficult job. What we are working there for, sir, is the dual recognition degree, which means a Japanese institution making an investment here so that they grant the degree and Indian system allows that degree to be signed by both sides.
इनकी क्वालिटीज को यूज करके जैसे केरला ने किया, पूरे वर्ल्ड में हमारी केरला की नर्सेज जानी जाती है. सिमिलरली सेक्टर को हम नर्सेज के लिए डेवलप कर सकते हैं क्योंकि ये बच्चे पहले से प्रोफेशनली वेरी गुड इन स्पा, और गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया मेक एफर्ट्स टू create a center, more and more colleges of nurses in this particular region.
आपने जो बात कही है और जो गोस्वामी साहब ने पहले बात कही, इन दोनों स्कीम्स के ऊपर हम काम करेंगे. क्वालिटी काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिया के साथ हम एक एक्रेडिटेशन स्कीम लाएंगे जो आपकी क्वालिफिकेशन हो, यहाँ पर स्पा की क्वालिफिकेशन हो चाहे नर्सेज की क्वालिफिकेशन हो, इसको इंटरनेशनल रिकॉग्निशन पे ले आए. तो जो इंस्टीट्यूशन वो एक्रेडिटेशन हासिल कर लेंगे उनको ऑटोमेटिक एक्सेस मिल जाएगा. सो आपको एक्रेडिटेशन करना पड़ेगा, उसके बिना वो क्वालिटी जो है और स्टैंडर्ड्स वो आप मेंटेन नहीं कर पाएंगे.
So we are ready for all these programs to be introduced by the government, and you give us the syllabus, the accreditation. We
will bring that.
Yeah. Similarly, जैसे सर तमिलनाडु गवर्नमेंट करती है, एम्प्लॉयमेंट खुद ही करती है, तो ऐसी एम्प्लॉयमेंट्स इन स्टेट्स में खुद ही गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया करे या स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स करे, जो एक्सप्लॉयटेशन ना हो बच्चों का इन चीज़ों. थैंक यू सर.
Thank you very much, sir.
इंडिया के साथ भी हम निगोशिएट कर रहे हैं स्पा वर्कर्स के लिए, लेकिन इसके लिए एक्रेडिटेशन स्कीम के लिए वी विल टॉक इन दी लेटर सेशन.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Aman Bhardwaj. I have heard a lot of people here, somebody disappointed, somebody, saying, what can be done, what can be done. I have a proposal to make, and if the August gathering and the panelists feel it's right, we must propose it to the highest corridors of power. When we see 2017 coming, it is 70 years of Indian independence. Can we declare 2017 as Visit Northeast Year? Can we do that? If everybody who supports that 2017 should be declared Visit Northeast Year, please put your hands together. Thank you very much. It's just a humble suggestion, no questions, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's all the time we had for questions. We can perhaps take. Do we have time for one last question, sir?
Especially when ma'am is here from Mr. Covers, the secretary, and here. I would like to know this about the status of the integrated land custom stations in Northeast. Because this thing has been going on for quite some time, and this has really hampered the flow of tourists to Northeast, especially for us. For example, I'm from Meghalaya, and we have a land custom station in Dauki, Tamil. For so many years, it's been from British time. But then we have heard about this integrated land customs, nothing is happening. And for example, I can tell you, we're confident here that about 2,000 visas are the applicants from Bangladesh to India every day. But we found out that very few are coming to Northeast. And the reason we asked them is about the problems of the land custom stations in Dauki, Tamil. They cannot come because it's not fully equipped. So these are the things, I think for other states also, Manipur and other states. Because why Northeast, I mentioned that 98% of the entire boundaries of Northeast is with foreign countries. So definitely if the land custom stations are not up, then I'm afraid our destination Northeast will fail from that time.
My name is Neil Gautam. I present NIT Silchar, National Institute of Technology Silchar, Government of India. I look into the entire training and placement of the entire institute. In NIT Silchar, we have 4,000 plus students, very creative students, very hardworking, very brilliant. So 4,000 students means 4,000 plus students means 4,000 plus different minds, 4,000 plus different ideas. So I offer and request the entire organizing team here that how can we be of help to you, because our students are much eager to be a part of this new enterprise, and we'll offer different efforts and ideas to you so that we can work together. So just let us know about that. Thank you.
All right. Okay, then I'm sure Mr. Sharma was keenly watching, and he's going to be a righteous judge as to who shall receive the incentive. Fantastic. We're going to start with our next session, which is going to be a session upon media and the entertainment industry and the future prospects in the Northeast region. And for that, I'd like to invite our dignitaries on stage. Thank you very much, gentlemen and lady. Thank you very much. And for our next session, I would like to invite on stage Shri P.K. Datta, retired IAS officer and ex-Chief Secretary Assam. The session will be chaired by Shri P.K. Datta. Next up joining us on stage will be Mr. Sumit Mittal, the MD of Shashi Sumit Productions. It's also my privilege to invite on stage Ms. Vincimino Ate Kevichusa, producer, freelance media professional. Also joining us on the dais is Mr. Suresh Thomas, the Managing Director of Crescendo Music Private Limited. Also joining us on stage is Dr. Gulshan Sharma, the Director General of International Chambers for Service Industry and Cinematic Tourism. I'd also like to invite Parul Chawla, CMD Picture and Craft, Mumbai.
I think my first obvious question is perhaps going to be as to what is the kind of opportunity which beckons upon us when it comes to media and entertainment, and I would ask anyone of you to take up this question first.
Chairperson of this particular session, our chief guest for the day, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just give you a little brief run before we start this particular session. Cinematic tourism is a buzzword because one of the chapters in my PhD, long time back when I did it, and there are some practical experiences which I wish to share, and we can come in a long way for the Northeast. This particular brochure has been put into your delegate bags. Whenever you get an opportunity, I would request you kindly go through. And when you go to the third page of this particular brochure, there is a cinematic tourism we are talking about. When you get a time at home, browse, or you can do it right over here also. There is a website called cinematictourism.in. cinematictourism.in. That is a web portal you can see. 8th of April 2015, last year, Ministry of Tourism, Government of India took initiative, and they called all the Secretary Tourisms from the whole country, all the states and union territory, and there was a showcasing of cinematic tourism, further taking it what exactly it is. And thereafter we all had gone to Bombay, exactly after 1 month, 8th of May 2015, when we did the road show for cinematic tourism in Mumbai with the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. Now, 3 examples are very important which I wish to share with all of us. Yash Chopra ji, all the movies, whatsoever he has done throughout his career, right starting from his first movie, Waqt, there was a cinematographer, gentleman called Manmohan Singh ji. He's a chairperson of our ICSI with regard to the media entertainment division. When I talk about movies like Silsila, Lamhe, Chandni, Dil To Pagal Hai, Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, Mohabbatein, all these movies which have been shot abroad, Manmohan ji used to be the cinematographer, later turned into director-producer himself for about 18 commercial, wonderful movies. Cinematic tourism, and I'm sharing, and I just give a little buzz over there. There is a lake on the name of Yash Chopra ji in Switzerland. And what we call a small business card or a visiting card of our, which we give it an exchange with each other. We had gone for a couple of films for shooting with him for the location management from the chamber. It was quite surprising. We could shoot in entire Switzerland anywhere with that just one business card. I would humbly request when somebody mentioned in the previous session, interministerial, Ministry of Commerce, Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Information Broadcasting, and other such, Ministry of HRD, Skills Development, together if we make a small group, wonders can be done with regard to cinematic tourism and particularly promoting cinema and tourism together in the Northeast. That is the first. Secondly, Rakesh Roshanji we took to Singapore. Singapore Tourism Promotion Board paid 8 crores to Rakesh Roshan to shoot the entire movie called Krishman in Singapore. And see the magic. With that 8 crore being spent by Singapore Tourism Promotion Board with 23 days film shoot, cut to cut, where they had promoted their tourist locations, there was a 13% tourist traffic outbound from India for Singapore. Out of 8 crores, they made 80 crores. So that is the second point. Third point, there was a political will and New Zealand launched Kaho Na Pyar Hai, and thereafter the entire government along with their Prime Minister, they had come down to Delhi and they had come to Bombay. There was a road show which we had taken care of, and therefrom there was a new launch, and the tourist places of New Zealand were better known as compared to what they were known before that particular movie. Media entertainment industry has got a great strength, and the chairperson, sir, more I speak, I think we would give a forum to, I would request the people, those who have come from Bollywood, and particularly Parul Chawla, who have been working with us for last 15 years, assembling every year. We do Punjabi Film Fair Awards every year from the ICSI in Mumbai, when we showcase about 400 people together. Why not we should have Northeast Film Festival awards being done, and all the writers, producers, directors, actors, lyricists, singers, musicians, whosoever, whatsoever has done. When Professor Lambasa was talking about education, I take it one step ahead, and Pandey Sahab, Sudhanshu Pandeyji gave me the site and the thought process the other day. Sir, we have already approached, we have got about 46 writers together from the Northeast assembled with us from this particular conference, and we are coming with the screenplays, storyboards, true stories, natural stories coming as an outcome of this particular program, moving in the direction for cinematic tourism. I would request the fraternity which has come from Mumbai, let's have a tele-serials which are on Northeast. Let's give a chance to the youth from the Northeast so that they can showcase their talent. There's a tremendous talents in this particular region that all can be taken care of. With these words, I request the chairperson, sir, you can give the chance to others, and I'll take your permission. I've got to make the arrangements for the lunch and to see that everything goes well, and your famish, the food part to be taken care of. Chairperson, sir, can I take your permission to leave?
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
We have two corps here, one located near Tejpur, one located near Dimapur in Nagaland. 20,000 armed men. We have large groups of CRPF, BSF, and very many other paramilitary forces here. Why then is that Armed Forces Special Powers Act necessary here, and only in selected areas? Some of you must have heard of that lady from Manipur. The unfortunate person has been on fast for the last 15 years. Nobody cares. Can you have free flow of tourists? Can you have free flow of students when you say that this area intrinsically is not safe? I don't think so. Never mind the acts you have. Never mind the goodwill that the Secretary of Commerce has extended to us. Never mind what the other ladies have said. If you are not going to remove an act which is hostile, which is detrimental, which questions our loyalty to this country, I do not think tourists will come. What are the double standards? What is the difference between Goa and us? Do you know the Russian mafia in Goa controls the taxi trade? Do you know the taxi trade in Goa is administered, run and peopled by people from Russia? What has the government done? Not that I know of the AFPSA applies in Goa. Why the double standards, ladies and gentlemen? I leave it to you, madam. When you go back, maybe you can raise this in the appropriate forum and say that why this difference? Do you mean to say that the lady in Manipur who is on fast, who is fasting for the last 15, 20 years, has no value, no human life, no nothing. If a person commits a crime, by all means arrest him. But why hold everybody responsible? That is not fair, that is discriminatory. Thank you.
Bollywood welcomes all of you. So for the sake of non-media personnel, I would like to speak a little about Viacom Motion Pictures. So it's a 5-year-old company, so relatively new, and we have so far churned out for more than 45 films, and we believe and like to say that we are a content-driven company. Just to name a few of the films which you would have seen is Gangs of Wasipur, Queen, Maricom, Bhag Milkha Bhag. So that's how we believe that we like to reach out to the masses and send out a different kind of message. Besides that, now since we are here, we would also like to come and shoot here. Like everybody says that, you know, Northeast region is really beautiful. I absolutely agree with that, and since I've been here 2 days, I have seen that personally. Like a few things I would want from the government, mainly after Mr. Datta's speech just now, safety and security, because our crew size comprises of nearly 150 crew members, and we are liable for each and every member. So safety being the prime requirement. Besides that, if the government comes forth to help us get a subsidy, if possible, yeah, we would like to get that. Just like the UP government has introduced one recently. If that is a possibility, definitely we would like that. So whether it's small budget films or big budget films, everybody would look at a possibility of shooting here, knowing very well that you know, the government is going to extend that kind of monetary support. Even in Maharashtra, the Marathi films get a subsidy from the government, which comprises of a good amount of money. So that being the main thing, then, that since the locations are so scenic and so beautiful, if when a producer plans to shoot here and knows that he has easy access to those locations and doesn't have to go through a tough fight of attaining permissions from various departments, that would really help each and every producer well in advance to plan the shoot. Besides the locations, local support, which right now I don't see existing here in the Northeast region, in terms of equipment, in terms of local talent, and in terms of studio floors for shooting. These are not currently existing here. So the government needs to take that very seriously if we are promoting Northeast region as a shoot-friendly location. Like Mrs. Sangeeta Saxena mentioned that cinematically, if we reach out to people, cinematic references help to identify locations. That is the easiest way. So let's then use the power of celluloid to reach out to the film industry, and we are more than happy to come here and shoot. If we can, let's make it an eco-friendly environment and facilitate the maximum that can be given to the producers and help, you know, further shoots. I would like Mr. Sumit to elaborate further on this. So Dr. Lama, we won't ignore the Seven Sisters. We are most happy to make sure they get the limelight if you can help us. Thank you.
Okay. If I may take the privilege of chairing this meeting, one small point that might be of interest to you, Mana, is this. There is a studio in Guwahati. There is a gentleman from Manipur who has won obscene number of national awards for acting, for screenwriting, script writing. What's the word about it? Now, if you, ladies and gentlemen, if you do consider this area worthwhile shooting for natural locales, let me assure you, there is no part of India I have not been to. The greenery that you will get right around here is something that will be a telling effect on your documentaries.
It is. Not only documentaries, even on feature films, yeah. So that's the reason that, why do we go to Goa? Because it's most shoot friendly. Very shoot friendly. Thank you.
Right now. So I would like to start, I'm here to say something about media industry. Thanks to Parul and here. So if I talk about Yash Chopra ji, everyone knows him, and he made Switzerland a household name in our country. Every richie, the honeymoon couple used to decide to go to Switzerland. Why? How? With the power of media. Because this is the only medium which Professor Lama just mentioned. People should know about Northeast, and that's possible through media very easily, because people will come forward to know about Northeast very willingly with the power of media. I give you one small example. I'm directing a show called The Aur Baatein Hum on Star Plus. I selected Pushkar as the backdrop for the show. It's 5th year of the show, and show is tremendously popular. And people go there in Pushkar and ask about the lane which we have kept as a fictitious name in the show, Hanuman Gali. Where is that Hanuman Gali? So I requested Rajasthan government that can I name a lane there, Hanuman Gali in Pushkar, which they agreed immediately. And this is, I think, first kind of thing in the country, the real meeting, and there was a name ceremony on 5th of December in Pushkar, and we named the lane as a Hanuman Gali. And the camel cart person I shot with the dream sequence over there, he came and just hugged me. I didn't know why he was doing that. He was overwhelmed, and he said, "You used my camel cart for the shoot, and today I earn 10,000 rupees per day. And I have camel carts now." So this is the power of media, which we should get here. And we are all here to come and shoot, do our best. Creative people are, as it is, very passion-driven people. So we go anywhere to shoot if we like the place. But yes, it should be shooting friendly, of course. I was just discussing with Aman, very wonderful recent incident, which enlightened me literally. Last week I was in Run of Kutch, and it's just an idea. And later the execution. What is Run of Kutch? A white desert, nothing else, barren. You can't see anything, no habitat till your eyesight or beyond imagination, nothing. But there, thousands of crores of rupees people are earning because of one idea they generated, calling Run of Kutch. That's it. And I could see each and every face so happy. People got employment. They were so thankful to the tourists. You can see that. And this was just, I believe, one idea. And they just created a tent city over there. That is Run of Kutch festival, nothing else. And here we are talking about the mountains, the hills, the waters, which gives soothingness to each and every person, whatever the tension or stress or anything. So we are enriched. We should get the idea here, and I'm just quickly showing you one idea which occurred to my mind after that, the Run of Kutch. Then I'll hand it over to Parul. I'm just running it quickly. I'm talking about a talent which is already here. We just need to showcase it to the country. Again, as Professor Lama said, I wrote his line, it was very interesting. Rest of India should integrate with Northeast, and this is this. We make a show. We are not outsider, we are Indian, right? So, we make a show called Hum Bhi Hain, and for Bhi, we have used the creative Bharat, Hindustan, India. It's a show divided, it's a long format, I will not take time. It's a music-based show where we will, select the potential men and women from Northeast, from youth to old person, anyone. Maricom can be the brand ambassador for the show. We can get the celebrities from Bombay to mentor the local talent, and there they can showcase their talent, and with that, very important, they can share the message also, what they are facing here, what they are feeling here, and we will address that with the entertainment, along with the entertainment, so it will be addressed very well. So we'll go to the every part of the state and we'll select the talent over there, we'll nurture them, we'll through the judges, we'll shortlist the bands, we'll train them, and after the selections of rounds and everything, we'll select 3 to 4 bands which will travel to the country. They will perform in the other states also throughout, and out of that we'll have one final band which will perform in the heart of country, Mumbai. So there the Northeast is showcased properly in entertainment forum, and we can use any MTV or Channel V kind of a platform where we can buy a slot there so that everyone in the country can watch this show and could look forward to the Northeast very easily. Thank you. This was one of the ideas. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Mittal. You have now broadly understood what the requirements are. Just a little point I might add on for your information. How many of you know that the first moving cinema was produced by someone in Assam? Mr. Jyoti Prasad Agarwala, who was a tea planter, produced the first film from Assam, 1935. Since he mentioned this, it suddenly I remembered. He was the first man to do it. He was a businessman, a successful businessman. Today his family is well known all over the state. He first produced the first cinema called Suguntala. Okay, just for your information. And then something else, this might interest you. We had a gentleman from Assam, Dr. Bhupen Hazarika, who earned his PhD from Columbia University before Columbia became known in India, for mass communications, not for music. He had a doctorate in mass communications and was chairman of the dancing academy, whatever they call it in India, but Sangeet Natak Academy. Am I correct? So these people are completely unknown. But I am glad that you have come here, and I am extremely happy that you are here to share your thoughts, your ideas with us. Please carry on, please give us your advice, and please do not think that the region is hostile, unlivable, cannot be lived in. I am now 70 plus, I have not died, I am alive. Madam Avichusha will speak about freelance media professional. See here? Please.
Hi, my name is Ate and I'm actually from Nagaland. Although I've been in Bombay for the longest time, my background is actually television, and I've been a part of the Indian television industry for actually many years now. But a few years back, I sort of moved back to Nagaland because I wanted to work in Nagaland for a while. And everything that I tell you right now, I mean, I'm in the midst of all you intellectuals and knowledgeable people with so much knowledge in you, and I'm going to talk to you just in terms from my own experience of working in Bombay as well as working back home. Moving back home, it's been, I wouldn't say a challenge for me at all, because, working with the people back home in Nagaland, and I've done many productions, and to be very honest, we have used only equipment, only people from the Northeast. And we have done some really high standard world-class productions. And so for people to be fearful to come to our side thinking the infrastructure is not strong enough, the creativity is not there, would be very, very misleading. And just working on both sides, I know that there's talent in the Northeast. I know that there's creativity. I know there's desire. And if I look at the Indian map and I see just the northeastern side, then it's made up of 8 small states, but together it is a big market. And there is room for us to coexist with the rest of the country. There is a market, we can create a market, and also we have people who are, when put together, are big consumers. And if you look at television, even the face of television has been changing over time. With India's Got Talent and Shillong Chamber Choir winning and everything, the auditions have started a lot from the Northeast. A lot of auditions happen, and also recently Colors Infinity, which is one of the channels under her parent company, they had this show called The Stage, which was a talent hunt, which was geared mostly for the Northeast. So with all, very honestly, with all of you influential people around, I just want to implore you to, talk to people, to talk to the corporate sector, to come to the Northeast, Every time I look at television, I am inspired by South India, really, because they are not influenced by the rest of the country at all. They have their own channels, they have their own shows, they have their own life. Yeah, and now you have Star Bangla, you have the Bengali channels happening. So why can't Northeast together be a market for television as well? Maybe it could be in English, and I think it should be in English because of the diversity in languages. But I really believe in my gut that there's a huge market in the Northeast, and once we start going on air, we start, the whole process of production, there is talent, there is creativity. We have everything going on except the backup from the government. So, yeah.
May I completely endorse what the young lady has said. I wonder how many of you have seen the bamboo dance of Mizoram. It's wonderful, athletic, and marvelous to behold. If you have the time or the inclination here, please make sure you buy a cassette of the Mizo bamboo dance. Take it back home and show it to other people. Likewise, ditto for Nagaland. The shawls that the ladies wear, the weaving that they do at home, nowhere in India have I seen them as colorful as Okay, thank you very much, madam. You have done wonders for us. I hope if you make a film, you will remember that I am sitting next to you right now. Thank you very much. Now we come to, is the MD a qualification or is that the designation? Okay, I was slightly confused. So Mr. Thomas, can we have you speaking on music, please?
Thanks to Dr. Bhushan Sharma and of course Aman for getting us here. I'll make this short because I know everyone's hungry. But to start with, I can't help thinking that I'm back in school again, because typical of me, I would never do my homework. And I just land up on the day of the test and then, ask my friends and make some hurried notes. But somehow I managed to pass. My name is Suresh Thomas. I've been in the music industry for about 30 years. I've worked with several other music companies before. I started Crescendo Music about 23 years ago. During the golden era of the music industry or the music business, which was from the early 90s to the mid-2000s, I've worked with several artists. I've launched the careers of Mika, Lucky Ali, Mohat Jawan, that was the era of music videos and stuff like that. Just to give an introduction. But I think, when we were on the boat last night, we saw a fantastic fashion show, which was, of the highest standards. I mean, Parul and I go for many shows together, and it was truly of a very high class, and the designer was fantastic, the models were great. And then we saw a fantastic music performance and a dance performance. But what the highlight of yesterday's event was that music video and that song. In 5 minutes, I learned more about the Northeast than I'd learned in all my life, to be honest with you. I mean, we've seen documentaries, we've read a little bit, and we keep hearing about the tremendous talent. And I mean, this is my first time I've come to, Guwahati or any part of northeastern India, and I'm tucked away on the west coast. And that 5-minute song, both conveyed the emotions and the cinematic beauty of the entire, 7 states or 8 states, as you now call it, and that's the power of music. And surprisingly, although we do have a legend like Bhupen Hazarika, who's been from here, and contemporarily, Papon, and maybe one or two others, a hell of a lot of musicians from the south, from the Punjab, from Delhi, from Maharashtra, from Gujarat, have all made their impact, through Bollywood and also non-film music throughout our country and probably even in other parts of the world. Why is it that when we have such phenomenal talent in the Northeast, which we only hear about, we don't get them to be seen or heard on a national platform in India, throughout India? So I think actually Dr. Gulshan Sharma had mentioned it, and that's exactly was on my mind when I was, even prior to my coming up on stage, was to say that, some sort of an effort between the northeastern state governments and needs to be made to have maybe an annual music come fashion come dance festival in Bombay year after year. Like you have music festivals like Sunburn in Goa and Hindustani classical festivals, but something which brings the culture, the musical culture, and why I'm clubbing fashion, music and dance together is because they're all stage events. Unlike films, which is something else which you watch in a theatre or you watch television on screen, these are stage events. So if you do a 3-day festival where you invite the best talent from here and send them into Bombay, I think you create a lot of interest. And it will be an opportunity for them to showcase their talent to Bollywood. And then Bollywood, rather than, I know you need Bollywood to come here and shoot, for economic development, but Bollywood might actually end up picking up talent from here and importing them into our part of the country. So that's my suggestion, and that's something, maybe Parul and I would be very interested in working closely with, the organizers to put this together at some point in time. We can sort of initiate that. Thank you very much.
You are here to share your thoughts with us. Thank you very much. And it is indeed nice that I hope that in your future journeys elsewhere, you will take the trouble to shoot something unique about this part of the country, which in many other parts they don't know about. Please, you are welcome. All of you ladies, gentlemen here are welcome. Come and visit us, see how we live here. And it is not as bad as the TV channels tell you. Let me also tell you something else. We recently had the SARC games here.
South Asian Games.
SARC, South Asian Games. 8 countries participated. The so-called national mainstream newspaper. What is mainstream about a newspaper? Because it is published from a metropolitan city. Therefore it is mainstream, and we are off-stream or something? Or under-stream? What are we? These ridiculous newspapers only talked about what the Prime Minister said, and their function ended. Some student somewhere fights with a professor, but that is headline national news for them. I thought editors and people who write articles were bright people who could anticipate, who could see. But I have great difficulty in dissociating the letter C from them. C for clowns. We have the following speaker, Parul, Chawla. All of these ladies do not prefix their names with their marital status. So please forgive me if I don't say this is or this. My generation was converted. We all said he's so-and-so, Sri so-and-so, Srimati so-and-so. Nowadays ladies don't. Therefore I had to ask her, by the way,
So we are from media, we keep ourselves always open.
Thank you, sir. So, Mrs. Chawla, Madam Chawla, may I request you to talk about pictures on craft?
Thank you, Mr. Datta. This is Miss Parul Chawla here. Good afternoon to all the dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, I would like to begin by a big thank you to Dr. Gulshan Sharma for having us here and giving another opportunity to be part of the Northeast Cinematic Tourism. And Mr. Aman Sharma for being a wonderful host. Thank you so much for that. And I would like to extend a thank you to all the panelists here who have been accompanied with me from Bombay for being a wonderful company for these last 2 days. I would like to applaud the efforts of Dr. Sharma for bridging Northeast with the media and entertainment industry, and we are really looking forward to partner with the state for various opportunities which my fellow colleagues have just cited here. I would like to also mention that I feel Northeast has not been explored to the extent as we witness the state today here, and we know there's a lot of potential, not only as talent but as a scenic locales. And yesterday's fashion show, which I would like to endorse what Suresh mentioned, was an eye-opener. And I feel the talent of fashion, what we saw yesterday, is not only nationally, it needs to be applauded, but also it should be something which should be taken on the international standard.
And applause is in order, ladies and gentlemen.
I would like to beckon upon the state to look into putting up facilities and infrastructure, maybe to bring a film city in Northeast, which would make life easier for all the potential producers and the production houses to come and shoot here. The state definitely has extensive talent, which we've seen, and my request is here for the officials to please look into it seriously, and we hope that, Dr. Sharma, that this is fruitful, and next when we are here, we are discussing the plans to take this forward. This visit has been fruitful, and I've identified huge potential, not only in the media and entertainment industry, but otherwise also. I would surely like to associate with the state and come back here for further developments. Thank you, Dr. Gulshan.
Any comments from the ladies and gentlemen? Yes, sir, he raised his hand first.
I think I'll speak loud without a mic. I'm sure it's audible.
Loud and clear.
Okay. You know, I was a young man, about maybe 3 or 4 decades ago. You are still young. I'm young at heart, yes. And at that time, I was walking just below the palace. And I met about 50 very beautiful young women, college girls from Bombay, who were questioning on the street and said, in Jewel Thief, there was a lovely swimming pool. Where is it? Now, we don't have a swimming pool in Gangtok. I don't know where they took that shot. But in that Jewel Thief, you know, that swimming pool was shown, and they came all the way from Bombay to have a look at that swimming pool. That's the power of the media. And I'm sure that, you know, if that power of the media is sort of focused in these specific areas, the entire Northeast, the 7 sisters and the 1 brother from where I come, will be greatly and enormously benefit. Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful point. Well made. Yes, sir.
Myself, Dr. Bimal Krishna Sharma. I am from Dr. Bhupen Hazarika Regional Government Film and Television Institute. So here everybody are welcoming the people from outside. So I would put 3 informations and a comment. Information that people who are from outside, you can come here to Assam, and we have a wonderful studio here. It is a Jyoti Chitrapan Film Studio. It is run by Government of Assam. So you can go to the Google and you put Jyoti Chitrapan, JOIOTICHITRABN. You'll get the details, the facilities available here. So you can come here just with your resource and you get all infrastructure here. Second, the government of Assam is doing working for development and upgradation of Assamese cinema and regional cinema by three things. One is for human resource, there is a film and television institute I am told, and that studio, and another is that Assam State Film Finance Development Corporation. So these three way we are trying to develop the Assamese film industry, regional film industry. Another thing is that we are expecting more about policies, because in the topic it is here, media and entertainment industry, the future prospect is NER. Okay. So when you say industry, sir, it requires human resource, it requires infrastructure, it requires market. And in industry, the film industry is not recognized at all today. Even bank is not ready to give the finance. So how can say the industry? So people, government secretaries and madam is here. So I would like to request, just do something so that film can be recognized as an industry where banks are ready to finance. Another thing, that everybody agree with me that film is not just an art, it is a technical art now. Of course, people are making the good films here who do not have any kind of maybe academic institution, but they are doing good films. India today, we are the largest film producing country, almost 1,000 films per year. But how many films are success now? Why it happens? We have to ask a great question. Because today, there are only 24 seats for cinematography, sir. 24 seats only autography, 24 seats for editing. But it is a backbone for any kind of film production. FTI Pune, it was established in 50 years back. And in 1995, Film and Television Institute. So there are only 24 seats. The government of India take 2 years to create 1 seat. And last 50 years, the numbers of IITs are increasing, IIMs are increasing, even IIT are there. But only 2 film institutes. And these film institutes are too expensive, the state government cannot survive. Only there is Tamil Nadu is there and Orissa in Assam. We are poor institute, but we are trying hard. And we would like to inform that we are catering the students from all northeastern states. We have reserved seats from all northeastern states, and we are producing students from Sikkim, from Nagaland, from Manipur, from Meghalaya. We are catering the students. We are trying hard. So my request is that, so please think about the human resource, think about infrastructure and finance. Otherwise, without looking at these 3 points, we cannot make a good industry here. Because today is a market-driving economy. We have to see the product. If product is not good, people will not accept. Because in your television set, you will easily get the best quality film all over the world. So you have to fight with among us and in global with the quality only. Without quality, we cannot survive. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
A couple of things actually. One is, without a doubt, I think when you Google or when you go to YouTube and you ask about entertainers from the Northeast, there's tons of them. In fact, in Nagaland itself, we have many people who are now household names. Even in the fashion world, great movie stars are wearing some of our fashion designers' clothes in Cannes, in Milan, you name it. Like Atsu, who's based in Delhi. And then we have talents in music, like Alobu Naga and the band, the Tetsio sisters, who are going all around the country. I'm talking about my state in general because I keep tabs about what is happening here. But what I do want to ask is, why is it so difficult for, lack of a better word, mainlanders to write stories or make stories, movies about legends, about people? I know Mary Kom is one, so thank you for doing that. But beyond that, why not just bring household stories to the rest of, people's lives in the rest of the country or the rest of the world is no different from the lives of the people here. We have heroic stories happening here as well. Why aren't those stories shared? Is there any way some people can explore those? Or maybe even make a series of legends, stories from different states in the Northeast and make it as a television series. I remember growing up as a child, every Sunday Doordarshan we used to rush back from church just to watch fairy tales, Grimm's fairy tales, which was being aired. And that was a ritual we wanted to do. And why not? We talk about integration of the country, we talk about getting to know the rest of the country. This is one of the best ways to get to know each other. The rest of the country does need to know us. We found out 96% of the people don't know us, or 95%, let's say, or let's be generous and say 5% of the people know us, but 90% of the people don't know us.
Excellent point. Excellent point.
We might be only 3%, but we have lovely stories that needs to be shared. So I do think it's time media houses around the country start exploring. We don't have the capacity yet to create our own stories and throw it out, but I think in partnership with production houses, small production houses that might exist here, we have talents who have won film competition, film awards in the international film arena elsewhere. Maybe making use of those as a start, I think would be a great idea to actually make stories real of the people from here so that people will know how to relate to us. Secondly, bringing our people into books, educational books. I wanted to put that earlier, so I'm just going to share it again. The rest of the country needs to study the Northeast. Why must I only study about the rest in history? Why do I have to study only the rest of the country? Why can't the rest of the country study about the Northeast? I think this is absolutely important that syllabus syllabus should include the Northeast in their subjects. And that's the only way people are going to get interested and come to us. It's fine to have these kind of events all the time, and the same thing is talked about again and again and again, but nothing is done. So, to start off, recognizing Eastern Curate, by the way, her name is Curate, that's alright, Eastern Curate is great. We want her stories to be turned into movies, why not? Her Mari, which was published by HarperCollins, no. Harper's, I think it's a real story of her aunt who, I think one of the descendants is still alive in England. So things like this, these are stories that can be explored. I love the idea of having a film city in the Northeast. Now coming to that, it goes to Viacom's story. I am in skill building. I develop human resource. I'm a part of a human resource development agency. I'd like to know, what are the people? You say there's lack of people, or you need to know if there are local talents that are available who can support you, because imagine bringing 2,000 people to come and work might not work, or bringing 100 people to logistically it might not work, but if you have the talent here, maybe it will work. Maybe simple things like, I need carpenters, electricians, can you get those people ready? A list of those people can be submitted to us so that we can start training those people who, when there's no film shooting, can also earn an alternative, have something else to earn when they're waiting for these film shootings to be happening. So that's a couple of things.
Can I suggest that you put this on the email, of at least on the web?
I'm certainly going to, because I already spoke to someone about sending interns to work with them. I'd like to do the same thing. We have so many, creativity is unbelievable, unbelievable. I work with young people, so I know the creativity that is there. But like everybody else, they don't know where to go, what to go, just because of a lack of exposure. So internships actually will give great exposure. So I'm sorry, since some of the industry people are here, I think tomorrow we'll share, but when I have it in my head, I'm going to share this. I do think there's a serious problem with the way the skill building is being conducted in the country. Serious problem. I've been doing this for 11 years, and I do not agree that a paper qualifies somebody else. You need internship. So connecting people after their skill building with the industry so that they do skill building, and those who are good absorbing those companies or sent back for further skilling, I think that is what is most important.
Excellent.
Because right now, this system is not working, and I can 100% guarantee I do not work with the government at all. I've never been helped by the government for any programs, but I can tell you it does not work, because all they do is pick a company, maybe from Gurgaon, Noida, wherever these agencies are, and then they will come and set up hole-in-the-wall places in the Northeast, and then it is not done properly, because attrition rate happens precisely for this reason, because they have not had the knowledge, they have not been given the right platform to go and sit and work and learn. And that hand-holding has to continue. You cannot compare the people of the Northeast with the rest of the country, because fortunately or unfortunately, we're very different. Each state in the Northeast is very different, and you have to make a little adjustment. So what works in Punjab might not work here. What works in the South may not work here. And so policymakers need to understand that this change, there has to, if you seriously want to develop the Northeast, there has to be a serious change.
Thank you, ma'am. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for a very, very illuminating discourse. And may I suggest one thing to you, the young lady sitting here, the last person who raised this question. Why don't you get in front of the camera instead of behind?
Tomorrow I will have my turn.
I would seriously recommend that to you. You know, can I take a minute of your time if you are not hungry? 10 minutes. Many years ago, there was a gentleman who said that life basically depends on 3 C's. So we were stumped. We said, 3 C's? He said, what is 3 C's? He said, 1 C is care. Care for your family, for your state, for your country. 1 is compassion. C. Compassion for your fellow men less fortunate than you. And the 3rd, he said, you must communicate. If you are a good 3 C's man or a woman, you will get ahead in life. Now this C is a factor that I suggest you strongly remember and do not forget. Somebody had talked about Japan in the morning and they said Japan is prospering, doing well, they need nurses, etc., etc. Now, Mr. Sato happened to be the Prime Minister of Japan in the 80s. Mr. Sato was a short little gentleman, very bright, and those days Japan's trade with the United States was doing very well. So they were worried that the balance of trade will go against us. So his advisors came to Mr. Sato and said, Mr. Sato, please go to the United States and talk to that president who does not, he's a stupid man, he does not speak Japanese. So you will have to speak English. So Sato said, So they said, we'll teach you 5 English words with which you will be safe. He said, So he said, walk up to him. Clinton is a big, tall man. Walk up to him and say, how are you? He understood that. And then it is likely that Mr. Clinton will say, I am fine. And you say, me too. So 5 English words and you are done. So on that critical day, Mr. Sato walked up to Mr. Clinton. And because he was with his wife and other people, Mr. Sato became a little nervous. So instead of saying, how are you? He walked up to him and said, who are you? Clinton was surprised. He said, what? I'm the president of this country. You know, but he realized that this must be a problem, so he quickly covered up. So he looked at his wife and said, actually, I'm Mrs. Clinton's husband. And you? Do you know what he said? He said, me too. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Zeta. Thank you very much to all the dignitaries at the dais.